and welcome to the Trading Bell. We have come right here at East Africa Cables to understand the business, have a conversation with the chief executive, that is Bwana Paul, and then get to understand what are they doing to turn around this massive place into profitability for you, the shareholders. Come with me as we get to know who Paul is. Former guy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bwana Chege.
Yes.
Karibu sana East African Cables.
Thank you so much. I can see them right here on the table, and I just want, for the sake of our viewers, to just really help them understand East African Cables and your core mandate in terms of business. Please, if you could expand to us.
Okay, East African Cables is one of the older companies in this country.
You're right.
Incorporated in 1965 and actually listed on the Nairobi Stock Exchange in 1973. So we are very old.
Yeah.
Primarily, we have been producing electrical cables, house wiring.
Yeah.
These are the cables that you put in your house.
Yeah, you're right.
Right from the smallest, which is used for wiring lights, to, as you progress, that's a 1.5, 2.5, you would use it for sockets. And all the way up to what you use for the cookers. We also produce armored cables.
Okay.
Armored cables are used for taking power underground so that you can supply it to big institutions like factories.
Okay.
We also produce submersible cables.
So these are the armored cables, these huge ones here, like this sample, for example?
That's not an armored cable.
Okay.
I can show you a sample later.
Okay.
This is what is called a process control cable.
Okay.
We also produce submersible cables. These are used for boreholes and deep wells. The quality of this skin is what differentiates it from other cables, because this one can stay in water for many, many years. It's the quality of the Seacom cables that you were hearing about the other day. We also produce drop cables, like the one you have just seen the process on. These are used for dropping power from the pole right into the house. We produce transmission cables. These are aluminum cables. They're used by companies like Kenya Power and Ketraco. So everything I was talking about is at the point of consumption. But this now, the transmission lines from generation, maybe a hydro or geothermal plant or wind power, to the point of consumption. We also have what we call process control cables. This is a new innovation. It's a new introduction. And this is used for in industry. You see, when you have a process which is being controlled by PLCs or computers, you have the field equipment, maybe you have pressure gauges, you have the temperature gauges, you have valves which are opening, you need to know whether it's open or closed. All that information is fed by, each of those could be one wire, picking a signal from there and bringing it to the PLC. So we produce all those cables. Recently, we have also entered the market in terms of accessories, so switches, sockets, MCBs, etc. Okay, 2023 was a challenging year for the country. For us, I think the company did very well, given the circumstances. So we grew the business by 5%. That's the local business here. And this was through concerted marketing efforts. So, you know, we've got to keep informing the customer that, so that we are top of mind. So we had a lot of spend on marketing. We also expanded our sales and had more sales activities. And I believe that is what gave us the 5% improvement in a very tough environment. As you remember, last year was, the inflation pressures were very high. The dollar moved up by 25%.
You're right.
We still maintained a positive EBITDA, which means the business is able to fund all the operations and then leave some for financing costs, etc. So basically that was the result. We also reduced our loss after tax by about 13% to about 300 million Kenya shillings. Which is progressive if you look at previous years. Yes.
So what are you looking at for this complete turnaround? And of course appreciating the 5% growth so that at least you can move to the profit levels that you hope to achieve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, we have to grow the business.
Yeah.
The core of the business is still cables, so we have to grow that.
Yeah.
In our 5-year strategy, we also have other activities that we need to do to diversify the business, because we have relied too much on the core, which is perhaps okay because that is where our strength is. But we also need to diversify. For example, accessories is part of the diversification. Plus other actions, we are looking to diversify the business.
Okay.
But we'll continue aggressively pushing the core to grow the cables business.
Okay.
Yes.
When I looked at your numbers, I noticed there was a little bit slight increment on your expenses. That's for the 2023, and I wanted to know, how did this impact your earnings before tax and all that, and what are you doing to ensure you have those cost management?
That's right.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest issues was the dollar. As I said before, 25% change in the value of the dollar against the Kenya shilling.
Yeah.
Most of our materials, the major materials, copper and aluminium, are imported.
Yeah.
So basically, you can imagine a 25% hit.
Yeah.
But that also affected other operational costs. You will recall that, for example, IPRA adjusted the rates, the power rates, by almost 40% last year.
That's true.
Fuel went up. We are reliant on fuel. You know, the people we use as courier services also use fuel, so the rate went up. So there was that inflationary pressure. But somewhere in between the year, actually in June, we had the action by the main lender, and that has also led to increased legal costs, which has led now to, you know, the expenses being higher than they were the previous year.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Let's talk about your product and market innovation. You've already mentioned to me that you're diversifying, going to the accessories and all that, which is commendable.
Yeah.
How do you expect this to contribute to your future growth?
Of course, we have to create as many revenue streams as possible.
Yeah.
This is out of a need. When customers ask for cables, you know, when they tell you to quote, they'll also say, can I have these switches? Can I have these sockets? Can I have these MCBs?
End to end.
Yes. So they want a one-stop shop.
Okay.
And that is what they are looking for. So the diversification is around the cables to add more value and service the customers in a better way.
Okay.
Yes.
Very true. Listening to the customer. You also have export market, and I wanted to know what you're doing and what specific markets and strategies are being targeted to boost your export revenues.
So we have the traditional markets in Uganda, places like Rwanda and Burundi, as well as Southern Sudan. So those ones we have as TIDA market. We do get orders from there. We also have the new entrants into the East African community, because that gives us easier trading, like DRC Congo. We are now eyeing DRC Congo. We've visited, we've evaluated the market. We are working with a distributor there. We've done some sales traditionally on the eastern part of DRC, but not on the western side. As you know, DRC is like two countries separated by a big forest.
Very true.
We also have made entry into Somalia. Surprisingly, my team has visited Somalia, and Mogadishu is a very busy town in terms of construction. There are very many cranes in the air. So that's also a market that we are eyeing. Of course, Ethiopia, we expect to follow the likes of Safaricom, because we do service Safaricom in terms of data cables. So most likely when they're doing their projects there, we'll be able to follow them there.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, when you're talking about the diversification, especially to the markets, I also noticed Tanzania, you decided to make a decision as well, and I think you talked about divestment and selling of your assets. I mean, what informed this, and what's the progress so far?
Okay, Tanzania subsidiary, that market is very important for us, by the way.
Okay.
And that's why around 2006, thereabout, the board of East African Cables PLC decided to invest in Tanzania in terms of a subsidiary, a factory that was already existing, we bought a 51% shareholding. So the market is important for us. But this time round, the board has decided that it's better to consolidate our services in these two factories.
Okay.
Because after the refurbishment in 2005, 2006, we now have sufficient capacity. We have a wide capability, more than we have in Tanzania.
Yeah.
And frankly speaking, it's just across the border. So it's better to consolidate the manufacturing here and service all the markets from this subsidiary here.
Yeah.
The other one, of course, is Tanzania was not performing very well, and therefore the board has decided to divest from that and use the proceeds. One of the things that we are going to do is the new buyer, what he'll give us, some of it will be used to offset the bank loan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the nature of businesses. Sometimes you invest elsewhere, sometimes you divest.
Yes.
And I just hope this will not have a big impact, as you've said, hoping to get a good buyer. Speaking of which, you also made the news the other time, and I noticed you had a lender action, the appointment of an administrator by the primary lender on your end, which was quite a significant challenge, I believe, on your end. So can you provide an update on the matter, and how is the company managing its relationship with its lenders to ensure financial stability?
Yeah.
Noticed you had a lender action, the appointment of an administrator by the primary lender on your end, which was quite a significant challenge, I believe, on your end. So can you provide an update on the matter, and how is the company managing its relationship with its lenders to ensure financial stability?
Yeah. Yes, that did happen last year.
Yeah.
I would say it was unfortunate because we've always had a very good relationship with the lender.
Yeah.
But they appointed an administrator. Of course, very quickly we were able to go to court and get an injunction. The matter is in court, so I'm not able to discuss the merits and demerits of the case.
Yeah.
Suffice to say that we owe the lender money, and our action is to ensure that we meet our full obligation.
Yeah.
So, and those are the actions we are taking. We are growing the business. We've grown this business for the last 4 years. We have grown by 60%.
Okay.
And with that, we are able to service the loan, although not fully. May I also mention that apart from the main lender, there are two other lenders who we also have a very good relationship with.
Okay.
And we also continue to service their loan, just like we are servicing for the main lender. It's only that we have not been able to service to the full. But we are committed to resolve the capital issue and be able to settle our debt in full.
Okay.
Yes.
It's good to know with him.
Yeah.
The affordable housing is big, and the fact that now you have even invested yourself into accessories and all that.
Yes.
These are definitely components we see in those particular places. And I noticed you had the PS Visit You industry coming right here to the factory. I wanted to know from your side, what has been your participation so far in this category of investment to deliver affordable housing plan, and how have you positioned yourself to reap from this opportunity from the national government?
Definitely, affordable housing is a key market for us.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the number of housing units that the government wants built, is a lot. We've participated before.
Yeah.
For example, that time they were called low-cost housing from the previous government.
Okay.
We did supply cables to the Pangani affordable housing, the ones that are already occupied.
Yeah.
We did supply especially the mains cable, the underground cables that I told you, the armored cables.
Okay.
We are engaging all sorts of key players in affordable housing. You know, the developers, people like NHC, the National Housing Corporation, who is one of the main implementers of the project. We are in discussion with them. So we believe, because it's a business relationship, they have to see value in what we are doing. We'll definitely deliver our value of quality and cost combination. So we believe out of that we'll have a business deal to be able to supply most, if not all, the developments that are being done. Of course, we also urge the people who make decisions, our government, to ensure that they promote Buy Kenya, Build Kenya.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you can be able to, sustain local businesses,
Absolutely.
which are providing employment and also playing their part in the economy.
Yeah.
Yes.
As we come to a close of the conversation, I have two more questions to ask you. One of it is about what you just mentioned, how you had quite a serious impact by the exchange rate fluctuations.
Yes.
One of the key things that everybody now would want to know, especially your shareholders, is what are you doing to manage the risks associated with this exchange fluctuations that come by? Have you put some things in place to ensure that you'll manage all these particular risks that may come by there?
Okay, the exchange rate per se is market driven.
That's true.
And unless you have lots of dollars to influence the market, you wouldn't be able to directly impact the exchange rate. But there are things you can do. For example, now we are more attuned and we have sharpened our knowledge in, further in terms of sourcing and really going into the market when the market is a bit lower.
Very true.
That is both on the dollars and also buying materials when they are lower priced.
Okay.
We've also got a very fantastic program here called Total Performance Management, which we use to manage costs and also improve efficiencies.
Yeah.
We live on the TPM philosophy that any wastes is not acceptable.
Yeah.
So, for example, over the last 5 years, we have reduced we have increased our material yield and reduced what we lose by 50%. So obviously that goes into making sure that we are more cost effective and we can supply the customer without too many price fluctuations.
Yeah.
Of course, the other one on dollars is trying to be more export oriented because then you sell in dollars and you don't have to face the fluctuations of dollars when you are converting Kenya shillings into dollars.
Yeah.
So that's another thing, and that is why we are going into DRC.
Okay.
We are talking to Somalia as well as strengthening the traditional markets in exports so that we can get more dollar inflows.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Finally, let's talk about ESG, sustainability. As a listed company, definitely it's a requirement as well, and I'm so glad. I think on the walk, I have seen a few things that you're doing, and one notable one is that you are spearheading a tree planting initiative. I've seen the nurseries down there.
Yes.
So could you give us a background on these initiatives and what you're doing to undertake and enhance sustainability profile to meet your stakeholders' expectations?
Definitely, as a listed company, we are expected to do our part in sustainability.
Yeah.
But I would hasten to add that any citizen of this country needs to do their part in ESG.
You're right.
Because this world is small.
And we don't have a spare.
We are perhaps too many and there is no spare. So we need to look after it.
Yeah.
Yes, so we are playing in about maybe 7 or so SDGs. Before I come to the tree planting, we do have a children's home who we support.
Okay.
Addressing hunger and addressing poverty, just giving them monthly provisions. I've just shown you the underground water tank that we have.
Yeah.
We use that for harvesting rainwater, and that ensures that we can leave the potable water to other people and use that for our processes.
Yeah.
We do work with small traders. So as a big company, we can choose to work with big distributors only. But we go right up to the small traders. We believe we make them better businessmen through the conversations we have because we want to see them getting a return on the capital, etc.
Yeah.
And then there is also the one now for tree planting. 2.5 years ago, we got an idea that we are using a lot of trees.
Yeah.
We do use Gravelia timber a lot because the big cables that we deliver to big customers like Kenya Power, these kind of big cables are wound on big wooden drums. So we decided to have a replacement program for that.
Yeah.
Typically, those trees are farmed by peasant farmers, just on your hedge. It's a good tree. It doesn't affect your crops. So we decided to replace them, and hence the tree nursery was born. We partner with the Kenya Forestry Research Institute, and they have shown us how to germinate the seeds. We then tend them, and when they are fully grown, we donate them. Our model is quite unique. We work with an organization called Leadership and Character Development. They are basically mentoring students to become better leaders of tomorrow and to be responsible.
Okay.
So most of our trees, majority of our trees have actually been planted in schools, whereby these students will actually plant their own tree, adopt it, and cater for it. That's why the survival rate for our seedlings is actually very, very high. Recently, we visited some schools like Buruburu Girls, and now you can see what we planted 2 years ago. They're actually tall seedlings, and we planted more.
Wow.
So it's very gratifying to see that. We're also donating now to the people who are selling us timber. At least when you cut down your graveria tree, you can plant another 3. You can have a guava seedlings if you want, because we have diversified, due to the demand, we have diversified to other seedlings.
Okay.
So very gratifying, and it's one of the greenest corners of the factory.
I've seen it.
Yes.
Commendable there. Finally, I want to ask you, Bwana CEO, what's your final word to your customers and finally shareholders as well?
Okay, we have a great business here, based on value for money, because we produce only the highest quality, and quality here means we meet the international standards, which means your investment is safe. So first of all, to our customers, we continue to assure you that we'll continue producing the best quality products, and as many customers will know, we have the scratch and verify label, whereby you can scratch, send the 12-digit code to 38353, and you'll get a verification for an authentication whether that cable is genuine. Of course, if it's coming from us, then it will be genuine.
Okay, excellent.
To our fundis, we have a Foodie Bora club. We have 8,000 subscribers because they subscribe through the same platform. We call it Foodie Bora. We have made it now a royalty program. And we promise that this will continue, and you can continue to enjoy and to use the right products so that you can continue serving your customers well. To our shareholders, we continue to grow the business. The last 4 years, we have grown the business by 60%. This year, we are growing by double digit again, and we are well on course to break even and start making profits in about 18 to 24 months. Of course, subject to solving the immediate problems that we have with financing and everything else.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
There you have it, very optimistic, don't buy fake. Send that SMS to 3853 anytime you buy these cables. Then you'll be able to get to know whether you have the fake or the original. The CEO is very optimistic that the turnaround is coming, so let's wait to enjoy the profits as shareholders. Thank you so much for your time. I'll leave you now with the markets.